2025, it's in the books, basically, and I'm going to go over my top 10 favorite wrestlers of the year. 2025 was not the greatest year, but, you know, I've seen worse. There you go, Triple H. There's your tagline. 2024 was WWE's on fire now, and 2025 was WWE. I've seen worse. We'll start with number 10, The New Day. I thank God for The New Day. He just barely made my top 10 in spite of their booking. They were booked very, very poorly, to the point that one dude, Penta, was able to actually win a feud against all three of them. That said, I enjoyed them every single time they got on TV. So I'm not saying that they had a stellar year in regards to win-losses or even in-ring performances. I am saying that me personally, every time I saw the New Day, whether it was them and Xavier Woods' giant hat, or I think the week before he wore a tiny hat, or Kofi Kingston saying that everybody has diabetes, like, you all got diabetes, like, oh my God. Sometimes they only got the commercial segment that was aired in everywhere, in every part of the world except the United States, but those segments were so funny. They dropped the ball. Triple H dropped the ball with the heel turn, but I don't care. I still was thoroughly entertained by the characters of Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and even Big G. The New Day, they still rock in my book. They entertained the crap out of me. Number 9, we're going Gunther. Gunther had a stellar year. Gunther actually did have a stellar year, other than the fact that he tapped out in 2 seconds at WrestleMania, which was stupid and dumb. Didn't mind him losing to Jey Uso. Just, I did not want him tapping out so quickly. And then, at the end of the year, though, he had quite a recovery where he tapped out John Cena. Now, I did not want him tapping out John Cena, but I wouldn't mind him beating John Cena. That said, it happened, it's done, and Gunther, as a whole, though, entertained me. Again, it's not just about the matches and whatnot, it's about, was Gunther entertaining? When he bloodied up Jimmy Uso, so much as tasting the own blood, I thought, oh my God, this guy. And then he goes and beats up the announcers, choking out the announcers. That's hilarious. I love a good bully in wrestling. And, he retires Bill Goldberg, enemy number 1 of Wrestlechop? Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, Gunther. Love you. Somehow he even got a halfway decent match out of Bill Goldberg. So it's like insane. I love this guy. Now, was it a perfect booking? No. They should have gave him more than a 2-week build with CM Punk just so he could lose the title. And he did go away for a little bit because of, like, I think he had to get nose surgery or something. But as a whole, Gunther really does get his character. And even now, he's getting booed out of the building. It's only been 2 weeks. I am a little scared that they're gonna try to milk that too much. This is a cow, and they're trying to milk the booze. For some reason, this cow produced booze instead of milk, and they're trying to milk it and milk it and milk it. I need to stop doing that, and like we need to just have Gunther progress his story. But that said, right here, right now in 2025, I look back and I'm just like, dang. Gunther actually did entertain me as just a nasty, nasty heel. And, yeah, he's number 9. Number 8, Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa had a lot of ups and downs throughout all of 2025. But I gotta say, this dude really impressed me. When he lost the Oomphalafa on the first episode of Netflix to Roman Reigns, well, you know, it was kind of like downhill fast, and it was like, okay, it looks like Jacob Fatu is gonna get the rocket ship now, and Solo Sikoa is gonna fall to the wayside. But Solo Sikoa somehow, some way, got back. He brought in JC Mateo, hate that name, and then he was able to reform a, like, Temu. You think his former bloodline was the Temu bloodline. This was the Temu of Temu bloodlines, where he has the MFTs, and it's like, I gotta say, the MFTs aren't really that good of a faction, But Solo Sikoa as a person, as a wrestler, as a sports entertainer is great. And every single time he was able to, you could take the leash off of him and let his personality shine. It did. Whether he was doing crazy legs, a dance, whether he was talking to Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, and invoking the name, the legacy of Bray Wyatt, making it be able to like fit and flow and not be forced and disrespectful. Solo Sikoa, funny when he needed to be, serious when he had to be, and just like really solid on that mic. I'm not even kidding here. Solo Sikoa just like very much impressed me, and I was thoroughly entertained every time I saw him. If they would have booked him better or given him better storylines for like all the entire year, he'd probably be even higher on the list. Sometimes it would drag down the segments when his whole entire faction was getting manhandled by Sami Zayn, and I really think that did affect him as a whole. But like somehow, some way, this dude. He went from just the hype man of Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania to now he's like U.S. champion. He's in prominent feuds, kind of, sort of. He's a mid-card guy, but I honestly think that we should try once more to get this guy in the main event. I wish they'd make him a babyface. The way that he's so funny and stuff. I've always seen videos online about Solo Sikoa and his little mannerisms and jokes and his playfulness with the crowd. I really think that he's one of the few exceptions where I'm like, let's turn this guy babyface. But Solo Sikoa entertained me, very much entertained me. Number 7 is Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom, kind of like Solo Sikoa in that it's like maybe we should turn this guy babyface. He really invoked Eddie Guerrero's lie, cheat, steal gimmick, doing it great. But the thing about Dom though, unlike Solo, Dom is getting victories and winning his feuds and is in really good storylines. He had a storyline with John Cena. John Cena's last storyline of all time. His last storyline, not his last match, but his last storyline had to do with Dominic Mysterio. That's how much faith and trust they give this guy. And you can see it because they consistently give him really good moments and matches. At WrestleMania, he wins the Intercontinental title in a fatal 4-way. But who did he win it from? Who was the last person before him? Well, it was Braun Breaker. So that's a big deal when you take the title off Braun Breaker. And then he goes and has a match with AJ Styles. They have like 2 matches, and both times Dirty Dom is able to win with the lie, cheat, steal gimmick. It's like, man, good stuff. And then, of course, he's got all the ladies. Roxanne, Rhea, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan comes back to help him, just like completes everything. Just he has a prominent spot every week on Raw, and then all this stuff in AAA as well. Like he's going over to AAA and just doing fantastic work over there. Just completely cheered. He's pretty much a babyface over there, and I love that every opportunity that Dom gets, he gets to like badmouth his dad, badmouth John Cena. Dirty Dom did not change at all, even though the fans started to root for him. Love Dirty Dom. Honestly, if maybe if they given him more mic time, he might be a little higher on this list. But Dirty Dom, great stuff. Love him. I do have some honorable mentions, people who don't make the list. They would be LA Knight. He's not on the list because he's kind of like the New Day, that every time I saw him, he was entertaining, but he never, like, his stories were so bad. The stop and go push of him really did affect me. I could never fully get behind him because I was just always in the back of my head. I was like, how is Triple H gonna screw him now? So through no fault of LA Knight, I don't have him on my list. Kevin Owens also through no fault of his own. His injury really impacted my ability to make him one of my top 25 characters, 2025 characters, because while he was only in WWE for like 2 months this year, I would have loved to, though, because he was really hot and really good for January and February, I think maybe even March, but unfortunately his injury took him out, so he's just an honorable mention. Oba Femi, honorable mention because while yes, he did come and have an exhibition match with Cody Rhodes, well, we've only seen him like 2 weeks on the main roster. He's still an NXT guy. my top NXT guy, but not my top WWE guy. Chelsea Green. Ooh, I really, really wanted to put her on the list. She's all over the place. NXT, WWE, Smackdown, Raw sometimes, and AAA. The reason why she's not on my top 10 list is because I don't think they gave her enough airtime. Now Chelsea Green is one of those people who, if she's given 30 seconds, she's going to steal the show. However, I still feel like 30 seconds is not enough to get on my top 10. But she was close, though. That's how good she is. Then Grande Americano. Love Grande Americano. Love that he had a career renaissance. Here's a dude who was blacklisted from all of wrestling in like the 90s, right? And he's back. He's awesome. I loved his vignettes when he first arrived on the scene and for WrestleMania. I will say, though, that it seems like, other than that WrestleMania period, like they didn't really allow any character building or work with Grande Americano. Yes, they added two of his former stablemates to this faction, but it wasn't like I would have liked to see more of feuding with Grande. Now he is feuding and doing great work in AAA, but I'm not this video does not include the umbrella of AAA, TNA, NXT. It's just Raw, SmackDown. So Grande, I loved that little chunk of time, but I just feel like he kind of cooled off. He kind of cooled off, and the character work just wasn't there. Also, I'm not putting Roman on the list because in reality, Roman just, he hasn't been around a lot. The only time Roman really got entertaining for me was when he was doing that contract signing and he was like, today junior to CM Punk. They don't let Roman really talk anymore. Like, he's got the aura and everything, and his matches are fine, and it's like cool, and he says something like, I don't want to see you guys until Christmas, and then he shows up a month later. I mean, those are like good moments and stuff, but yeah, he's just, his part-time schedule really affects my ability to put him on the list. Can I say that he really entertained me more than Dirty Dom? Like, overall, I like Roman Reigns better than Dirty Dom if we're talking like entire career span and everything. But for the year 2025, if I'm honest, Dom entertained me more. The New Day entertained me more than Roman Reigns just in 2025. And that's not shade. It's just, it is what it is. All right, those are my honorable mentions. I think I did 6 instead of 5, but please forgive me. Let's see, number 6. Number 6 on this list is Braun Breaker. Here's a guy that, it's not stop and go like LA Knight, but it's like, it's like yield and go. They keep just bringing Braun Breaker to the brink of success and the next level, and then they kind of just slow it down. When he speared Seth Rollins out of nowhere, like that was an instant opportunity, and they didn't go with it. When he joined Seth Rollins, it seemed like that was an instant opportunity, but then he became like his henchman. He became security. So it's like, so close. They're always so close, but be that as it may, he's still entertaining. Still entertaining as crap. And when he gets on the mic, he just is so unhinged. He invokes the spirit of Big Papa Pump, holla if you hear me. Scott Steiner, his uncle, and yeah, I am so entertained by Braun Breaker. His natural charisma or aura just seeps through, and in spite of his booking, he is still just amazing. And finally, hopefully, as he goes into 2026 to challenge CM Punk, that Braun Breaker will actually win, and then I can just be like, yeah, no, now he's just great. Now he's being booked how he should be. Speaking of CM Punk's not on this list either. CM Punk would have been on 2024 because that feud with Drew was just, so good. To me, I don't know. This is just a corporate CM Punk. And I'm not even saying that as a bad way, but I'm just saying this is not my CM Punk that I loved back in the day. So CM Punk's doing fine. If you love CM Punk, good for you. Awesome, great. And I still like CM Punk. He's just not, to me, he's not as entertaining as he once was. Although I did like his feud with John Cena. Number five. Number five is Asuka. You thought I was going to say Cena? Nope, Asuka. Asuka. Ooh, there was like a month or two where Asuka was my number one favorite in WWE. But if we're talking all as a whole, I'm putting Asuka as number five. Asuka did amazing work eventually. It was around, I think around Evolution, SummerSlam, PLE. When Rhea and Io were getting close, Asuka started like crashing out on Io. At first, I was like, "This is a stupid storyline. This is a high school storyline. She's jealous of her friendship. That's lame." But then they actually turned Asuka heel, and Asuka just like really leaned into it. And then she got Kairi to join with her on her quest to just show Io that next time you better listen to me. If I say something, you listen to me, and I loved it. Asuka became so unhinged, so crazy. She's dancing, she's doing this, she's making Kairi do things she doesn't want to do. She was so freaking evil. And then War Games happened, and it kind of derailed. It kind of derailed everything. But now that War Games is over, they're kind of moving back to that Asuka being just insane, just out of nowhere spray misting you, just cutting really good promos. Yeah, Asuka, like, just loved her work. And she's a great wrestler, too. She is a great wrestler, and I do enjoy her wrestling, but it's her character. It's her character that really sold me. And she got to such heights for about a 2-month period that I'm just saying, you know what? She was so good in those 2 to 3 months that it made her, like, really high up in 2025 for me. Number four is John Cena. John Cena, the GOAT, he retired. Didn't want him to tap out, but regardless, he just like, he has a case, like, he's probably the superstar of the year, to be honest with you, but I'm talking my personal favorite. He, like, whether he was a heel or he was a face, I thoroughly I tried to soak in as much of his presence as possible, knowing that this was his last time. His heel turn was an all-time moment, right? But it sucked when they turned him back to a face, not because I'm glad they turned him back to a face, but the fact, what sucked is they had no idea what they were doing with John Cena. They literally just turned him for that moment, and that's what really taints the whole thing. The whole experience, the whole John Cena heel turn is tainted because they had no follow-up. They had no idea what they were doing, to the point that they just said, you know what, screw it, this ain't working, let's just flip him again right before SummerSlam. That said, his feuds as a heel were pretty good. I liked when he faced Randy Orton, when he faced CM Punk, when he did his own pipe bomb. That stuff was cool. That stuff was funny. That stuff was great. And then he does turn face. Great match at at SummerSlam. He has a great little program with Dominic Mysterio. Amazing match with AJ Styles. Horrible experience at WrestlePalooza. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, good stuff. John Cena. I mean, if the heel turn had a purpose, it could have been. But and I hate that they only gave him 36 days when he requested 220. So many things that went wrong with it, but in spite of Triple H's booking, John Cena still made it work and made it to number 4. Number 3, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has actually been number 1 for like the last 4 or 5 years, to be honest with you. But I'm giving it to, Sami Zayn. Bloodline Sami Zayn actually beat him one time. But Drew McIntyre's number 3 this year. It was actually more of the same from Drew, just once again proving that he is literally, to me, might be the most valuable player on your roster. No matter what he did or does, he gets it over. Remember when he had a matchup at WrestleMania with Damian Priest? No shade to Damian Priest, but honestly, Drew McIntyre probably should have got someone higher up the card. Drew McIntyre just had one of the greatest years of his career in 2024, and then he comes into 2025, he gets rolled up, and then he's fighting Damian Priest. Look at where Damian Priest is right now on the card. The dude is in a 6-month feud with Aleister Black. Couldn't even get on the SummerSlam card, and Drew McIntyre was able to make that feud look look good. It was interesting, actually. And he even lost that feud, and Drew McIntyre's the one who came out looking better somehow, some way. Drew McIntyre has a match at SummerSlam against Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. And yet it was one of the more entertaining storylines of SummerSlam. And now look, he's actually gotten Cody fired up and just wanting to. I'm actually interested in Cody Rhodes because of how much Drew McIntyre has antagonized him. That's how good Drew McIntyre is. He's great on social media. He's just really good on the mic. He just knows his character. I wish they would give him more. They're actually starting to pull him back off TV, and I think they should pump on the gas. But that said, Drew McIntyre, just great stuff. They're like, honestly, he could be number one. The number 3, 2, and 1, like, honestly, it's kind of a tie between these three. They're all my number one, but I had to put them in in order. Drew McIntyre is just so freaking good. I'm putting Drew as number 3, but like, honestly, he's probably just tied for number 1. And then my number 2 person, honestly, is probably tied for number 1 as well. But I'll just put number 2, and that's Naomi. Naomi definitely would have been number 1. I have no doubt Naomi would have been number 1 if her time hadn't been cut short because of Jimmy Uso. Naomi got pregnant, and it was like, what sucks is, good for her. Good for the person, Trinity Fatu. But what sucks is that Naomi had finally come into her own. She was doing the best work of her career. When it was discovered that she's the one that pushed Jade Cargill onto the car, it lit a fire in Naomi. She was so good, so funny, so amazing, so awesome. I could not get enough of that version of Naomi. Honestly, I debated on who to put number 1. She was close to being number 1, but because she had to relinquish the belt and leave through no fault of her own, and I'm very happy for her, I didn't make her number 1, but I loved her character, and I was just so impressed that somebody who had been on the roster for so long, boom, just this whole new perspective of this person. When she would cry, when she was crying with Bianca Belair, talking about how when she confessed that she was the one, that was like some of the best acting I've ever seen. And props to Bianca Belair too. Props to Bianca Belair, but we're just talking Naomi here. Just, I loved her craziness, how she could be funny, she could just roast people, how she interacted on, like, those, with fan cams and stuff. On Twitter, she gave Drew a run for her money. Naomi, I really hope she comes back exactly where she left off. Great stuff from Naomi. And then number one is my favorite wrestler of 2025, the best wrestler of 2025, and that's not just me saying it, that's also Sports Illustrated, Becky Lynch. Holy cow. If you go back on my channel, I was furious at Becky Lynch, disappointed even as Becky Lynch when she replaced Bayley at WrestleMania. I thought it was wrong of her to do that. Little did I know that was the beginning of the Becky Lynch that we see right now, and boy howdy, she is so funny. She is so funny, whether it's giving people nicknames and just crashing out, saying I didn't tap, saying that she literally, right now, she just tapped out to Maxine Dupree, and she's on social media saying, I didn't tap out. There were ants, and I was killing the ants. I'm a hero. And I believe her. For the record, I believe her. But besides that, nobody else does believe her. And she's like, conspiracy theory this, conspiracy theory that. She is just so funny, so amazing. She's elevating people. I did not care about Lyra before this, and Lyra is now someone that is flourishing. She is literally on her own. Well, I mean, she's with Bayley, but like, she's in a storyline right now that doesn't revolve around championship. Like, her time with Becky helped her so much. What about Maxine Dupree? Maxine Dupree! While I did like Maxine Dupree before, like, Becky got all eyes on her. She got AJ Lee to come back. It's just crazy how good Becky is doing. She's the man. She's the man, and she's elevating everybody. She stayed away from the World Championship scene and has made the Women's Intercontinental title, one of, if not the most important title in the entire company right now. I am just so impressed with how Becky totally leaned into the criticisms that she was getting. Oh, this is Becky Hogan holding people down and all these things, and she leaned into that. She didn't go on the internet and say, just complain about how fans are stupid and they don't know what they want. No, she leaned into it. She grabbed a mic and then she said it, and then she said, but guess what? You're right, that's what I do. I'm going to hold everybody down because I'm the best in the world. And she is. She is. Bleacher Report says it too. But yeah, so Becky Lynch probably consistently, week in, week out, every time she got on, she entertained. Heck, she would toe-to-toe with CM Punk in the ring, on the mic, in the main event programs. She's just great. Becky Lynch, on so many levels, be it as a human being wrestler trying to help the business, or the horrible character of Becky Lynch that is just entertaining, funny, and just so crazy and obnoxious. I hope Seth Rollins is taking some notes from his wife, because Becky she understands. She understands the assignment, and yes, loved her. These are my 10 favorite wrestlers of 2025. Let me know who yours were in the comments below. And I think tomorrow's Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody. See ya, bye.